Peppa Pig might look like a simple and cute cartoon, but hold on a second. Peppa Pig hides tons of curious, strange, and even creepy mysteries for those who pay attention. Are you ready to dive into these wild secrets hidden all around Peppa's hometown? Then stick with me because there are things here you never expected. Have you ever heard of the show Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom? Oh yeah, it's a magical world full of elves, fairies, potions, and everything we wish we could see for real. But you know what's craziest about it? That universe might be totally connected to Peppa Pig's world. To begin with, both shows were created by the exact same team. Coincidence? Hard to believe, especially because we've already seen characters from one side mysteriously showing up in the other. Pirate Redbeard, the very same one from Peppa's show, also appears in Holly and Ben's universe. And there's more. During a trip to Times Square in New York City, we can see Fairy Holly and Little Ben on a huge billboard while Peppa is right there watching everything happen. And as if that wasn't enough, a fairy has already visited the little pig. The famous Tooth Fairy shows up to swap the main character's tooth for a shiny coin, meaning magical creatures do exist and they are super close to the pig family. Will these characters ever finally talk face to face? Have you ever stopped to think that Pirate Redbeard might be no one other than Mr. Fox himself? Yes, that is one of the biggest secrets fans have been trying to solve. Both are red-haired, mysterious, and always finding a sneaky way to get what they want. Not always honestly, right? They're both known as super clever thieves in Peppa's universe. But pay close attention to one weird detail. Mr. Fox's shop is packed with items related to the sea, like he personally collected everything on pirate expeditions across the ocean. He always says he has every single item a sailor could dream of. Yet when Peppa asks about a treasure chest, Freddy's dad says he doesn't have one, even though Mr. Fox basically sells everything that exists. The only explanation: no pirate would ever hand over his own treasure, right? Plus, we've seen a blue and white striped cloth in his shop, exactly like Redbeard's shirt. So now the question is, can Mr. Fox transform into a human and live a double life? That mystery is way too big to ignore. If there's someone who drives fans crazy, that's Mrs. Rabbit. Have you noticed she works literally everywhere? Airport, supermarket, museum, emergency rescue, space station. She is just everywhere. And here comes the wildest reveal. In the episode where they travel to New York, we discover there isn't just one it, but many Mrs. Rabbits all over the planet, like thousands of them, which brings up a very scary question. Why does only she have identical versions spread across so many cities, while her sister Mrs. Rabbit, Rebecca's mom, is unique? The most famous theory says that Grandpa Rabbit, who is a scientist and super smart, may have cloned his own daughter, and one of these clones believes she is Mrs. Rabbit's twin sister, while the rest of the rabbits work in every place possible around Earth. And the reason for that? Very simple: world domination. With so many rabbits running so many companies and professions, that family has become way too rich and way too powerful. Is this theory right? The few humans who do appear on the show are a huge mystery. So far, we've only seen 4. Pirate Redbeard, always searching for treasure; the Queen of England, powerful and super elegant Santa Claus, bringing gifts on Christmas; and a little farm girl who appears on a famous billboard in Times Square. Now, here's the big question: where is the rest of humanity? Some fans believe that a massive tragic event made most of them disappear. But there's another theory that is much crazier and scarier. What if humans transformed into animals? That would explain why the characters live, study, work, and behave like people, but with snouts, tails, and everything else. Maybe some humans refuse to transform, and that's why we only see a few still out there. But why would they do that? Maybe to gain new abilities, more strength, better senses. Who knows? Maybe an attempt to evolve. This answer is hidden for now, along with many other secrets of this strange town. If there's one character that leaves everyone totally shocked, it's Super Potato. He's famous for being a superhero on the big screen, but the creepiest part is that his powers aren't special effects. He actually flies like a real-life hero. The show has never explained how a potato gained such wild superpowers. Was he born with these abilities? Or did some kind of secret experiment happen in a lab that turned this simple vegetable into a buff, caped hero? On top of that, there are other vegetables who talk, walk, and act just like humans. Maybe they all went through the same bizarre process, or maybe they're part of a much bigger plan. It's a huge secret the show has never cleared up. Will we ever find out the true origin of this superpowered potato? Now let's jump into one of the most intense theories. Where are the other pigs in Peppa Pig's universe? Because if you look closely, only Peppa's family exists. There isn't a single random pig wandering around. Zero. She has already traveled to Paris, New York City, London, and all kinds of places around the world. And even then, no other pigs have ever shown up in any episode. That's super suspicious. Are they hiding? Or even worse, were they eaten? Everybody knows that Mr. Wolf dreams of making a fancy dinner out of Daddy Pig and his family. He makes that very clear. And here's something even darker. Peppa's house is the only one made of bricks, just like the smart pig's house in the story of the 3 little pigs. So maybe the other pigs didn't escape from Mr. Wolf. This theory has been around forever, and no one has ever proven the opposite. Were they hunted down? Is the pig family the last survivors of their entire species? Here's a little tip for you. Click the subscribe button down below. That way it'll be much harder for you to miss any of our upcoming videos. The queen who appears in the show is totally inspired by Queen Elizabeth II, but something very strange happens when Peppa goes to visit her in London. The royal family seems to live in complete isolation. There are no royal guards, no servants cleaning the palace, nobody besides her inside the castle. Was she abandoned, or is she being held there by the animals? After all, the whole world now belongs to different species who talk and live just like humans. The biggest mystery is, where is the queen's family? She never mentions a husband, children, grandchildren. Nothing. Not even a single family photo hanging on the wall. This mystery is still floating around to this day. This is one of the theories that gives fans the biggest headache. Did Peppa have a twin sister? There's an official image created by the show's own team that shows inside the pig family home another baby pig. Totally unknown and super mysterious. That made a lot of people believe that there actually is another daughter in the family. But who is she? The show has never talked about her, and nobody has ever seen her since that image. With time, fans kept begging for Peppa to have a sister, and eventually Evie Pig, a brand new character, was announced by the creators themselves, so maybe the idea was reused. And then the big question comes up, could that piglet from the picture be Evie in the future? Or will we eventually discover that Mommy Pig and Daddy Pig have a lost daughter? This is one of the mysteries that keeps everyone anxious for answers. When it comes to super smart characters in Peppa Pig, no one beats Edmund Elephant. He's basically a mini genius, full of knowledge, and always ready with a scientific explanation for anything happening around him. He has everything it takes to become a huge inventor when he grows up. But there's something kinda strange about all of this. Why doesn't his sister, Emily Elephant, have the same level of intelligence? Their siblings lived together and were raised the same way. So why does only he seem like a brilliant mind? Of course, brothers and sisters can be totally different. George and Peppa prove that. But this difference between them is just way too big. Did Edmund receive some special ability? Or does his brain work more like real-world elephants, who are known for being super smart and having amazing memories? That's a big mystery that still has no answer in the show. Now let's talk about a character who always shows up just a little too conveniently. Mr. Labrador. He works with Mr. Bull and looks like a totally normal guy. But then you start noticing the details and everything becomes suspicious. When the pig family traveled to London, who showed up there? Him. When they visited Paris, who was strolling through the City of Light? Him again. And when Peppa went to New York City to have some fun with her family, guess what? Mr. Labrador also decided to take a trip to the US on that exact same day. That doesn't look like a coincidence, right? Why does he follow the main character across different countries? Is he secretly keeping an eye on the pig family? Could he be a spy sent by someone important in the animal government? Too many trips, same destination. Too much mystery in the air. This one looks simple at first, but once you think about it a little, it gets very weird. George started school when he was only 2 years old, which means Peppa also started school at that same age. But suddenly we notice something that makes zero sense. She is 4 years old now and still studies in the exact same classroom as George, who is way younger. And it's not just the piggies. Richard Rabbit and Edmund Elephant, who are babies or much younger, also attend the exact same class as their older siblings. So the question is, what did Peppa learn when she was George's age? Did she just go through school without learning anything different before the younger kids arrived? Does Madame Gazelle's school totally ignore age rules? Or is there something the creators still haven't explained about this wild education system? Yeah. Definitely a huge puzzle. Now let's talk about someone who gives chills even to other characters. Mrs. Crocodile. She appears very quietly and doesn't draw a lot of attention. But if you take a closer look, she shouldn't even exist in that world. Almost every character in the show is a mammal. Sheep, rabbits, cats, dogs, horses, bulls. But she is a reptile, completely different from everyone else. And more, where is the rest of her species? Also, in an episode at the zoo, Madame Gazelle looks clearly scared of her, like she has some secret worry going on. Is she afraid Mrs. Crocodile has more wild animal instincts? Do mammals feel threatened by reptiles? Being so alone already shows something big is being kept hidden. We're wrapping up this video, but if you love having your mind blown, this is the place to be. That's why we picked 2 great videos for you to click, watch, and, best of all, keep hanging out with us.